welcome to CNN Student News. I'm Carl Azus, and I'm bundled up with much of the U.S. feeling the effects of a polar vortex, which sounds cool to say and means something much cooler. We're focusing a lot of today's show on the cold. How cold is it? Well, in Chicago, the National Weather Service called it Siberia yesterday. Temperatures fell to 14 below zero. That was colder than the South Pole in Antarctica. Minneapolis, Minnesota warned its residents of historic and life-threatening cold. With wind chills hovering around 50 below zero, frostbite can happen in a matter of minutes. Now about that polar vortex. It's this circulation of winds that normally surround the North Pole. But occasionally those winds can get distorted. They can dip south. And when that happens,
brutally cold Arctic air is spreading a dangerous deep freeze over half the country. The frigid blast forcing schools and government offices to close from the deep south to the northeast.
The temperatures that we're talking about are deadly. This is a combination that is unlike anything we've seen in a long time.
Nearly 140 million people will experience wind chill temperatures of 0 degrees or below by Wednesday, temperatures the country hasn't seen in decades. In fact, Chicago, St. Louis, and Atlanta are all colder than Anchorage, Alaska.
The conditions are very bad. Roads are really slippery.
And it's not just the plummeting temperatures. A massive snowstorm battering the Midwest dumped up to 16 inches of snow in St. Louis. The iconic St. Louis Arch barely visible under the onslaught of snow.
This is a dangerous storm. Driving conditions range from difficult to impassable.
In Illinois, the entire basketball team from Southern Illinois University got stranded in the snow. Returning home from a game, their bus caught in the powerful winter storm. The team was stuck on the interstate for 6 hours before a tow truck was able to dig them out. But there's relief in sight. The sub-zero temperatures and snow will virtually be gone by Wednesday.
See if you could ID me. I'm a type of flu virus that spread worldwide in 2009. My symptoms are like those of a typical flu, but I used to be known as swine flu because I'm like a virus that circulates in pigs. I'm H1N1, and I'm the most common strain of flu that Americans are catching this year.
of course, we don't catch it from pigs, we catch it from other people. And with flu season in full swing, millions of Americans are coughing, running fevers, getting chills and body aches, and unfortunately, passing it around. Just over the past week, the number of states reporting widespread flu activity jumped from 10 states to 25. Widespread means large chunks of states are reporting flu cases. The most common strain, the H1N1 virus, is affecting a lot of young people, particularly in the South. With proper care, it's not usually life-threatening, but it's sure not fun. So how can you avoid it? Doctors say the flu vaccine is a good start. It takes about 2 weeks before it's effective, though. Another way to protect yourself, wash your hands. Been exposed? Wash your hands. Ready to eat? Wash your hands. It makes the virus less likely to hit your body. We always enjoy taking a moment to recognize some of the schools recognizing us. It's time for the CNN Student News Roll Call. We're going to start out west with the Natrona County High School Mustangs. They're online in Casper, Wyoming. North Stafford High, you're on our roll. The Wolverines are watching in Stafford, Virginia. And leaving a legacy in Orlando, Florida, we're taking off with the Jets from Legacy Middle School. Our friends in Minnesota know about the St. Paul Winter Carnival, called the coolest celebration on earth. They've got some competition in northern China, and like the American event, you can't mind the cold. This celebrates it. If highs in the single digits don't keep you locked inside, the reward is carved artwork of snow and ice. Multicolored lights accent the frigid architecture, and as you might guess, it attracts tourists from all over the world who hopefully remember their coats. China actually offers travel packages focused on this event, but you might be wondering how all of this comes together.
If you think you're pretty handy building a snowman, you might want to get yourself to northeast China. In what's billed as one of the coolest shows on earth, the annual Harbin Ice Festival, thousands of workers have been hacking blocks of ice out of the river to carve giant sculptures and make fairy tale palaces and castles. One of the main attractions this year, a replica church said to tower 150 feet high, all of ice and illuminated with computer-controlled displays. Of course, if you are coming, don't forget your thermal underwear. Organisers say you could catch frostbite.
And that's with minimal trouble getting around in the snow. What do you do if you're in a wheelchair? There are all-terrain tires available that can give more grip. Some are wider, some are knobby. But what about the smaller front wheels? What can be done to help those glide over the snow, especially for those who live in snow all winter long?
I'll just hold that for you.
Sam and Tracy Tabeka have never allowed their wheelchairs to hold them back.
We both enjoy marathons and triathlons and all sorts of fun outdoor stuff.
But every winter, the everyday becomes a challenge.
See how much slower this is?
Front wheels have a tendency to sink in the snow, making moving or even staying in the chair difficult.
There's a lot of tipping yourself back and kind of trying to jump over piles of snow.
Oh, I've taken many spills.
Now a new product has all but eliminated the seasonal obstacle. The Tabekas are the first Minnesotans to try out wheel blades.
Oh, it's a huge difference just for comfort and for feeling secure.
Essentially small skis for the front wheels, the blades glide over snow and ice.
We spend however many months out of the year with snow in Minnesota, and I mean, this is a huge thing.
The biggest impact is in the daily routine. Small tasks that once took time and energy have never been easier.
It definitely allows me to be more independent.
A twist on cold weather culture that's now moving winter mobility forward.
It's definitely changed, my outlook on what I can do in the winter on my own.
Good stuff there. We're going to come in from the cold for a moment for a bit of spoken word. It's a kind of performance art. Can be poetry, can be monologue, and it can help a group of young people do everything from find their voices to cope with the troubles they face every day.
Rinse, wash, repeat, repeat, repeat.
Expressing themselves through poetry and finding like-minded youth with a passion for verse.
Family. One of the most beautiful things that I've ever been a part of.
Safety, it means growth, it means light.
Co-founded nearly 5 years ago by then 16-year-old poet Natalie Cook, Atlanta WordWorks is a nonprofit empowering teen and young adults through poetry. Members say it allows them to be among their peers, unlike most groups, which are led by adults.
Here's this organization that is kind of for kids, by kids, with kids, the whole step of the way.
The thoughts first go on paper, then expressed in spoken word.
Each student that comes to work with this organization, they find and develop their voice.
Students like Yvonne, who's struggling with the likely deportation of his family, undocumented immigrants, to Mexico. He's not ready to face the possibility of leaving the only country he's ever known.
And this is not just my story, this is the story of millions of people all around the United States right now. They're scared and I'm scared.
And poetry is how Yvonne expresses his fears.
It is said that when a child is born into a jungle, he has to be quick to adapt and survive.
I chose this over actual therapy because I feel as though this heals me a lot more than anything else could heal me. Good to see you.
And Yvonne's not alone. Many in the group are dealing with the kind of issues most young people face: peer pressure or divorce in their families.
It's a physical process as well as an emotional and mental process.
Free to share and free to inspire.
Historians have become like janitors, mopping up messes,
rinsing revolutions,
and washing away America's history.
Nick Valencia, CNN, Atlanta.
Back once more to Minnesota, where it feels like anything but a balmy beach. So a trio of brothers brought the beach to their home with a sculpted snow shark. That's one way to illustrate biting cold. Took them about 95 hours to build it, sits about 10 feet high, and its only natural predator is the sun. The brothers started doing this a few years ago with a pufferfish, so you could say when it comes to sea creature sculptures, they're pretty big fins. Of course, the neighbors might complain if they're not in the swim, but given the recent plunge of temperatures there, a giant ice sculpture is hardly sharking, as long as those who made it are able to withstand the wind gill. I'm Carl Azus, and more CNN Student News is swimming your way tomorrow.